What's going on, guys? We're back talking MMA, talking the latest news. Brett Okamoto dropped an actual bomb completely out of left field. We had Jessica Andrade, the current strawweight champion, female strawweight champion. Now, she was expected to either fight Michelle Waterson or Tatiana Suarez in her next fight, or obviously Rose Namajunas and Joanna Jędrzejczyk if it follows by the rankings. But instead, we're actually going to get Weili Zhang taking on Jessica Andrade, and oddly enough, it's going to be in China. Now, I don't understand why champions in this division are going to the challenger's backyard to fight. I get it in this situation because they're paying back the favor. Andrade won the belt in her home country, so now she's going to go defend it in Zhang's home country. But it's just weird that they started this whole trend with the champ defending in the challenger's backyard. That's just odd to me, but I'm not going to argue it. I want to break down this decision in 3 phases. First things first, why Weili Zhang deserves the title shot over Tatiana Suarez and Michelle Waterson. Second off, I want to go over Tatiana Suarez's future. And third off, I want to get to the haters who are judging the fact that Zhang is getting the title shot over a lot of the others, and I'm just going to specifically talk to them. Now, first off, why does Weili Zhang deserve the title shot? Now, first off, 19-1 with 9 KOs, okay? 9 KOs/TKOs, 9 finishes, 7 submissions. So she has a combined 16 finishes. If you do look at Michelle Waterson, she only has 12, and Tatiana Suarez only has 5. Now, Tatiana Suarez undefeated. Michelle Waterson has arguably better names fighting winning streak. Now, first off, the first point you have to market, Weili Zhang is on a 19-fight win streak. Her only loss came in her first professional fight. Now, obviously, this is not the UFC, but in women's fighting, there are good fighters all over the world. It's seriously the gap between talent in that bottom 15 of the UFC and around the planet is not that massive. Now, I know obviously the UFC talent is a little bit better, but still, this girl has 16 finishes. Now, 2 finishes come in the UFC, and she's on a 3-fight win streak inside the UFC. That is the same as Michelle Waterson. Now, the argument is Michelle Waterson has her fights against better names. Now, first things first, Michelle Waterson's last loss was against Weili Zhang's last win. Her last, Tecia Torres, had defeated Michelle Waterson in 2017 before Michelle Waterson went on this 3-fight win streak. And in Zhang's last fight, she defeated Tecia Torres via unanimous decision. Now, if that doesn't say enough, she's a finish machine. Zhang is a finish machine. Like, she's brutal. I love her fighting style. It's so entertaining, and I 100% understand where the UFC is coming from in wanting to promote this specific talent to the Asian market. This girl is legitimately one of the baddest women on the planet, and if you don't know already, I'll leave it up here on an info card. You can go look at my career retrospective on her. Her career, she's brutal. She's brutal, and I think it's a great matchup for Jessica Andrade. And second off, you have Tatiana Suarez, 8-0, undefeated fighter. She's been in the UFC for 5 fights. So she's on a 5-fight winning streak against UFC competition, and the UFC competition stacks up extremely well against Weili Zhang. However, this Nina Ansaroff fight was a step back for Suarez, in my opinion. Now, it could have been the step to the title, but Nina's a badass. Now, Nina's disgusting of a fight. She's amazing. She was on a 4-fight win streak. She revitalized her career in 2017, going on the 4-fight winning streak. She had just beaten Claudia Gadelha, who doesn't get enough credit. Now, Nina Ansaroff is not a bad fighter by any means or any stretch of the imagination, but the thought was Tatiana is going to go in there and murder that girl. And the thing was, people didn't understand how good Nina was. Now, that's however you want to say the reason for that is. That is the fact, the blatant fact of it. People thought Tatiana was going to win the fight. And if you don't believe me, let me play you some clips of people saying Tatiana was going to kill her.
Like, oh, eventually she's going to be champion. Like, it's already a done deal. She's going to be a champion. She's going to beat Rose.
Speaking specifically about Tatiana, she's had a lot of hype. A lot of people call her the female Khabib. You're a pretty sizable underdog. I believe the biggest underdog on the card.
Now back to this point. That is a step back for her. And I think that the UFC is just priming her for the title shot. Now, this doesn't mean Tatiana's not going to get a title shot. She's going to get one in the future. On Twitter, they were talking about just pushing her up to fight Valentina Shevchenko, which would be an exciting matchup. But man, if they give Tatiana Suarez, Michelle Waterson, I'm putting a prediction out there right now. Now, obviously, I'm not the greatest MMA expert, but I think Tatiana dominates Michelle Waterson. I think she goes into the fight a massive favorite, and I think she comes out of the fight with such a dominant performance that she cannot be denied a title shot. At 9-0 in that division, she gets the title shot immediately after Zhang, and I think that she has enough credibility in the UFC to be like, I'm just going to bide my time, let them fight there, let them have their thing in China, grow the market a bit, but when they're back, whoever wins that fight, I'm taking on next, and that's got to be the plan for the UFC. They're not just going to take a dump on Tatiana Suarez and her 8 undefeated fights, her 8-0 win streak. It's just going to happen a little bit later down the line. You just have to wait it out. You have to let this fighter grow a little bit. And that's a big thing was when they threw Darren Till in there with Tyron Woodley. Darren Till didn't look that impressive. He just beat Cowboy Cerrone, but Cowboy Cerrone was a little undersized for the welterweight division. He hadn't done that well in that division. And they threw him in with Tyron Woodley, and he got finished. Now, Darren Till's gone on a path of losses, but still, it's that rushing of a prospect into a big moment that the UFC does not want to replicate. They don't want that to happen. They don't want a big star to lose fights. That's not how the UFC wants to do this in the WME era. So that's the reason Weili Zhang got the title shot. It's as simple as that. It's clearly a decision that I like. I enjoy that decision. That's a good decision for me. Next up is the Tatiana Suarez, her options. We already went over most of them, but another big option brought up on Twitter by UFC Stats, I'll shout him out for it, is Tatiana going up to fight Valentina. Now, I would argue she could stay at strawweight and just fight there and get a title shot as at least next year, beginning of next year. But if she wanted to go up to the flyweight division, I think she'd get a title shot immediately. So if she wanted to do that, I wouldn't take anything away from her if she lost to the Bullet after she just KO'd Jessica Ai as she did. But that is the only issue I have really there is the fact that she's 8-0 and they want to keep that undefeated streak. And maybe they want to get Suarez the belt and then do Suarez versus Valentina for that dual championship that the UFC is loving so much. And that draws numbers. As a women's fight, that would draw numbers as a main event on a pay-per-view if they wanted to do it in that sense, in that way. And Tatiana would just continue in her elevation of her stock as an MMA fighter. So those are all options for Tatiana Suarez. Now let's get to the people that have been hating on the decision. Weili Zhang doesn't deserve the shot. Now shut the heck up. You don't know anything if you think Weili Zhang does not deserve a shot at the title with 19 straight wins inside the octagon. That is incredibly hard to do. No matter who you're fighting. You could fight tomato cans. And winning 19 straight fights is ridiculously hard to do. That's why you don't see it very often. So first thing there, that's there. And then they have the rankings. Now the people, this is just mind-blowing to me. There's the people that complain about the rankings every single time there's an issue in the rankings. Now I get it. I understand. I don't have that position anymore because I understand the UFC rankings are horse shit. They don't mean anything. They'll play with the rankings no matter what. If you're a big star at number 10, they'll give you a title shot. Now, the rankings obviously don't mean that much in the UFC, so why do people keep bringing them up? Stop bringing them up. The rankings are not official. They're not. They say they're official, but they're not official. They don't mean that much. They hardly mean anything. So her being ranked number 6 means as much as me as goddamn somebody being ranked number 15 and getting a title shot. I don't give a fuck. As if it's a smart fight, if it's a proper fight, if you can break down the challenger's record and say, yeah, she deserves a title shot, then who cares about what the UFC puts out on their ranking website that doesn't even have pictures filled out for most of the damn fighters? It's just that simple. It aggravates me because people keep bringing it up. It's like, the rankings suck, the rankings suck, the rankings suck. Just stop it. Just relax. They suck. We get it. You don't need to say it 10 times every single time a bad ranking matchup pops up for the title. It's just stop complaining about that. We know that's an issue. Thank you for bringing it up again. And if you think Weili Zhang does not deserve the title shot, then you just have not been watching MMA. You just haven't. You just haven't seen this chick's resume. Click right here. Here, I keep forgetting. Info card. You can see her resume. But that'll do it for me with the recent news of Weili Zhang getting announced to being fighting Jessica Andrade next in China, or the closest thing to it with Breck Automoto, saying that that's probably going to be the next fight. Whatever your opinion is, you let me know that in the comment section below. And feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. That would do me wonders. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out, guys.